Entrepreneurship development and small business management is a very interesting subject, and we have got 5 units in this. Like the EDI, there are several training institutes in India which are bringing up tailor-made programs. These are all have been the backbone for these small-scale industries. These are all the institutions which have been supporting those young, talented entrepreneurs. Good morning and welcome to the introductory session of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Management in the 6th semester B.B.A. So let's just go further and try to understand what we have got in the syllabus as per Mysuru University. Now, this entire subject, Entrepreneurship development and small business management, is a very interesting subject, and we have got 5 units in this: Introduction to Entrepreneurship, EDP program, the Introduction to Small Scale Industry, Institutional Support to Entrepreneurship, and Industrial Review Report. Now, the 5th unit is a practical unit, which means you are going to work it out. But then we have got 4 units in theory and 1 unit which is going to be a project work kind of a unit. So let's have a look into all the factors. Let's see what it is all about in the syllabus standpoint. Now, the first one, Introduction to Entrepreneurship Development. Now, most of us right from our childhood had an idea that we would also start a company and one day become like a Bill Gates or a Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook or something like a Steve Jobs of Apple. But then most of us remain only in the idea formation and idea generation, but we never try to convert our idea into business. This is one unit which is going to take you to the journey of converting your idea to business. Our entire aim of entrepreneurship today in India is to make you a successful entrepreneur right from the stage of idea generation to a business transformation. So the first unit of your syllabus is going to focus on idea generation to the transformation of business. This is a very important unit, both from the syllabus standpoint as well as from the examination standpoint, because there is some important weightage that has been given to this particular unit. So you need to pay a lot of attention here. You need to learn the terms. You need to learn the terminology of how to convert, what are the challenges that are faced, and how entrepreneurship is being looked up in India. Moving further, the EDP, Entrepreneurship Development Program. This is a program which helps in terms of developing the entrepreneur into a complete personality. There are a lot of programs that we are trying to look in terms of the entrepreneurial abilities altogether. The EDI is one institute in India which is located in Ahmedabad, which is coming up with many successful programs in order to transform the abilities of the entrepreneur. Like the EDI, there are several training institutes in India which are bringing up tailor-made programs for small-time entrepreneurs so that they can successfully make their journey into the entrepreneurship in a most successful way, in a most best manner as far as possible. So in this unit, we are going to look into the different aspects of the program. What are all the training abilities that we need to focus upon, how we need to develop ourselves as an entrepreneur, what are all the niche areas that we need to get trained. All those factors have been brought in as a capsule by the Mysuru University in the 2nd unit of the syllabus. A very important chapter and more. It's an interesting one because you are going to learn the tricks of the trade and go forward. So this unit is also very important. Moving further, Introduction to the small scale industries. Entrepreneurs normally face a lot of challenge in this sector, something like overcoming the bureaucracy, hiring talent, and obtaining finance. There is a lot of challenge when we talk about the MSME sector. So that's why whenever we talk about this MSME sector, there is a whole lot of challenges in terms of starting up, obtaining the finance, getting the right people, getting the right kind of work done, marketing, the scope and nature of operations. All those factors have been discussed in this unit. So this is also going to be a very, very important unit. Why? Because tomorrow, when you start up a company and you want to proceed it, you want to take it to the next level as far as possible, where are you going to look up for guidance? What are the challenges that you are going to face as an entrepreneur? All these things have been told here. So I would say that this is one unit where you rightly need to face, understand, and develop yourself. This is not something where you can just take it on the lighter factor altogether, but rather spend a whole lot of time in terms of understanding it. So I will definitely say that this is one of the most interesting topic you will try to understand in a practical manner when you start a business, where exactly you are facing the challenges. Moving on to the fourth unit, we are going to talk about the institutional support to entrepreneurship, starting with NSIC, SIDBI, SISO, the AWAKE, and the KVIC. Now, these are not just acronyms, but these are all the most important names that you need to remember when it comes to this particular unit. Why? Because the National Small Scale Industry Center, or when you talk about the SIDBI, and when we talk about the Small Industries Services Organization, or about the AWAKE, which is there, or KADI, or Village Industries Corporation, these are all have been the backbone for the small scale industries. These are all the institutions which have been supporting those young, talented entrepreneurs to come up from the rural areas and build big organizations in future. So definitely these organizations are from the governmental support, which are trying to make you come up in a very big way. Now comes the real exciting part of this journey, the fifth unit, which is going to be an industrial review report. So this is all about you and you. Why? Because you are going to take up a company, an organization, and write a report, do the analysis and the presentation. So this is completely a project-oriented course. The fifth unit, let me repeat, has got a complete project work where you are supposed to take up a report, do the analysis, and do the presentation. So effectively, for your examination, you have only 4 major units, and the fifth one is going to be a project report writing. So what are we going to do? How are we going to write the project? How are we going to present it? How is your ideas and opinions going to be counted? All those factors will be discussed as we go further. But then when let me just give you a hint up in terms of project report. This is something where we are going to see your originality, how you are going to put your ideas, your opinions, your thought process. So when it comes to the report writing factor, this is going to be quite challenging. You need to analyze the industry from every single angle possible, and you need to present a report like how you are going to present it before the venture capitalist. So this is going to be a very, very interesting part of this journey. Now, let's come to the real factor, the internals altogether. You'll have 2 internals only. The 2 internals syllabus is being given here. For the first internals, Introduction to Entrepreneurship and EDP. The second internals, Introduction to Small Scale Industries and Institutional Support. Each internals will be for 20 marks, and the maximum marks, that is the final marks, will be awarded on the average of 2 internals. So you need to attend both the internals. The average of both the internals will be taken into account, and your final marks will be awarded. So let me tell you again, please don't take it lightly. Attend both the internals. The average of the internals will be taken here in terms of your final marks. Moving further, the question paper pattern that's going to come for you in the final examination. Here is it. 5 into 4, 20, 15 into 2, 30, and the part C for 10 into 3, 30. So the total is going to be for 80 marks. Now the question that comes up in your mind, will I be able to score this 80 marks? The answer is a definite yes. Why? Because this is a general paper and there is nothing about right or wrong. It is all about how you open up your mind and you write the answers. So this is definitely going to be a writer's delight. Why I say that is that once you start getting into it, you will be interested, you will be really, getting onto an enthusiastic mode of writing it. And this paper is going to challenge your language as well as your thinking ability. It's a very, very innovative paper, and it's a very, very general paper. So whatever that is happening in the day-to-day life is what is going to be reflected on the question paper. So no need to worry. If you are preparing on a regular basis and putting on your thinking hat, you will be definitely able to score this 80 marks in the examination. Plus, you already will get your 20 marks in terms of attending your internals. So definitely this is a scoring paper and you will be able to do well. Now, what is going to be the chapter-wise allotment? Let's start. We are going to have only 4 units. The 5th unit, as I have told you, is the practical one. So the 4 units, the first one will be for 25 marks. The next one will be for 30 marks. You see a big emphasis on the unit 2. And the unit 3 is going to be for 15 marks. Unit 4 is going to be for 20 marks. This is what we have tried to analyze and predict. This is not a definitive stand, which I'm telling you. This is only a prediction, only an analysis that we have done through. And this is what is the weightage that we are expecting from the 4 units. Now, what is going to be the learning outcome? This paper is something where we are trying to understand the role and importance of entrepreneurship and the development program. And the most important thing is how you can build an effective organization and new business idea. Let me tell you, after studying this paper, it is not expected that you just write an examination, pass and go away. Biggest expectation out of this paper is that how far we are able to transform the young intellectual minds into budding entrepreneurs of tomorrow. So this paper is definitely a practical paper in terms of turning your minds to become the most successful entrepreneurs of tomorrow. So it's a very interesting and important paper, as you see that the government of India is putting in a lot of emphasis in terms of coming up with new entrepreneurs, making you come up the challenges and making you the future leaders of tomorrow. So please do spend a lot of time in terms of understanding this paper. Come back with your doubts. Let us learn together and let us grow together. With this, I come to the end of this particular session. I hope and believe that all the information that has been shared with you through this particular session will be of a great help and resource to you. In the upcoming sessions, we will be talking in detail about the subject. Until then, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me on this wonderful session.